Hello, my name is Michael, and today I'm going to show you how to do a really simple, well, not simple, but just how I've got on top of Phoenix LiveView forms. I'm going to show you, I've come up with this idea, which is a sort of a Christmas wish list. So I mean, it's a bit distracting that it's got my actual wish list on it here, but so I'll do a form which is a list of things. So you'll be in the admin system in the back end writing a list of things you want, and then there'll be a public view that you can send to anyone that will be able to see those, and as you type here you'll see that come through over here. So let's see how we get along. I want this to be useful. I want this to be valuable. If you've got any questions, like this, but this is the first time I'm trying this format, so it may end up like not being super concise. But hopefully you can get something to do with it. So we'll start with a new Phoenix project, which I'm actually, you may notice I'm in temp, but we go mix phx.new, and we're going to call it wishlist, and we need to enable live. So we press and I have my terminal set up so that it doesn't load the kitchen sink every time. So this is going to create the project, and I'm going to say no to fetch and install dependencies, because when I was checking this out it took ages. So I actually have in the next tab over one that's ready to go. So here's what the code looks like in that empty project. And what's been generated is all here. We've got a clean. Right, so everything's, I've kind of cleaned up that the Git project, and so we can see what changes we've made. So this is the vanilla Phoenix project. So let's start by looking at the router. So the router gives us a wishlist web page live index. So I mean, the first thing, let's just run this. So mix phx.server. And the first time this will be, oh, you know what, I think it's already running. This is a great start. What server is running? Let's just change the port, config, and can we say dev, and let's just put that. So if you want it on a different port, you just go into dev.exs and you can change the port number. So let's make it like 4080. Pretty sure I'm not using that. So now when we go mix Phoenix server, and you'll also maybe see that right, yeah, no, actually the problem is that it's not finding the database, but that we can actually go here into a browser and make it create the 80. So it wasn't the Phoenix server, and those noises you're hearing are, I have my console set up and then it wants us to create that. Right, so that's created our basic web page, and that gets rid of the errors. Something that I did recently was in my profile, I have it set up so that when I don't know where I did this sound, whenever there's an error in my terminal, then it makes a sound, which so that I can hear what's going on, which I actually find really useful for working on Phoenix projects. I'm going to make this a little bit bigger, but yeah, we'll see. It's not finding some stuff still, but yeah, that's okay. Maybe we'll start it again. So get our new Phoenix server running. Could not start node watcher because do you know what it is? Oh yeah. Couldn't start node because webpack doesn't exist. Assets. Right, I think we've got to go into here and go node CWD. What is it? No, yarn. Yarn CWD assets, and that's going to be install. Yeah, so just make sure we've got all the all the JavaScript stuff, and so that's what's going to do all our asset compilation. So this wasn't really supposed to be about showing you a new Phoenix project, and I don't often make these. Hopefully the next one I do will not take quite so much setup. Right, but I just wanted to but I'll show you how we get started with our form. So well, we kind of need this to, let's right, let's go mix Phoenix server now. phx.server should now compile correctly. And now we should see, right, there we go. That's better, isn't it? And actually none of this would work. So hello, this is the one that it gives you, but we're not going to use this. So let's go to router and let's have a look at this. So the first thing I'm thinking about is we're going to want, let's separate our two, like the admin user. If you remember, we've got sort of like the back end and the front end. So let's do like usually I have a scope, admin, and then that's going to be wishlist web, and we're going to go pipe through browser. I'm not at quite the right angle to my keyboard. Right, so then that's going to give us nested views in here, but we can go live. Let's call it edit, and we need to put that through a live view. So edit live, but that doesn't exist yet. So if we try and load that, it's all going to go wrong. In theory, we could go to edit, well, admin, edit now. And yeah, so edit live is undefined. So, and just to let you know, yeah, and usually here you'd have like an authenticate, like requires, an authorized user, or you could do HTTP basic authentication or whatever you want there. But we'll do a live edit, and then we'll do a live, we'll just put it on the root because it's going to be a very simple thing. So list, let's say wishes live. Let's do show live. Like, this is weird because we're making a web server with just one thing in it. Obviously, usually you'd have these nested in their names. And actually, like, I am going to be referencing my real project. So if we look at my router here in a real project, actually maybe it's cool to kind of compare and contrast what a proper project looks like. So this is my admin scope in squares, and it's got all my different live views and my gets and my posts and that kind of thing. But for now, we're just gonna, like, the wish list, the project is literally called wish list, so everything on it's a wish list. We haven't got users, we haven't got anything. Now I'm gonna like, well, let's make another, let's split the terminal down here. You see I've got this set up because it takes a while to start up some of these, because I use Rails, I use Node, I use different things. Some of them I realized I could speed up my terminal launch times by doing this. But if we go Node, mix, we're gonna generate a model called wishes. So we're gonna go mix phx.gen. And I'm not going to generate a live. There is a mix. Let's help. All right, there is mix Phoenix gen live, which generates a live view and a context and some gubbins. But what I wanted to show you today is how to, like, do it yourself. So mixgen.live. It's mixgen. phx.gen.context is what I'm going to do today, and that's going to be a wish list context, assuming that doesn't, that's going to be a bit, I think that's going to be okay. It is going to sort of put it in here, but we'll see what happens. Wish list, and then on that context that'll be a wish object, and then that's going to have wish in the database table wishes, and we'll just go name, string, and order, integer. And then maybe we'd have, like, I don't know, links to where you can buy it. Should we put a buy? Let's just give it a URL. String, and maybe an image URL string, right? So this is going to, if you get it wrong, you can always look, it's context, accounts, user, wishes. What's it saying? It has the same name as the application. Okay. Let's make the context call wish lists. So now we'll have a wish lists context that we do, and now we can go mix. Well, I'll just show you what that makes. So that makes this migration, which is really easy. Like, if this took everything from command line. One thing to know is add. If you wanted a user, you could go references users, and then that's going reference a different table and create a user ID and do some stuff. But like it's good to do that on the command line. But if you did just forget, you wanted to change the name of this thumbnail, do that before you migrate. But bear in mind that it's also created the wish.ex file, so you need to keep this schema here in sync with the table generation here, and you'll create migrations and whatever. But mix ecto migrate. So much for being more concise than one of the official ones. So that's we've got a data model now, and so now let's make a well, let's make that live view, because we kind of created this show live and edit live. I'm actually surprised it compiled. Now I come to think of it. So let's go into live. So here's the sample. Here's the one it created for us, but. And it does the separate LEEX template to the module. But if I'm honest, like I've come more and more to not bothering, like jumping between page live. Maybe for the outermost one, there's some value to having a template like this. But I'm actually finding it's quite annoying once you start having a few little live nested components. It's a bit annoying having these separate HTML pages, and I'd actually rather just have the view code in this file. I'll show you what I mean in a sec, but so that I can just jump between modules, and you shouldn't really have too much HTML, too much markup in each of these views anyway, if you're nesting them right. And that's just sort of the crux of what I want to start showing to you. So in a project like this, in my live folder, which is here, so like product, like I did a kind of like the most complex one is probably courses. So I've got course live, and so the outer one I have like index.html, but then all of these sort of nested things, I use the bad example. Maybe it's not this one, maybe it's the quiz one. Yeah, it's the quiz one that I want to show you. So categories have nested recommendations, etc. But I just do all that markup within each module, because otherwise you're having to sort of like jump between these as well as these different nested things. So basically my first recommendation is not so much with the LEEX templates, which I know is like not how we did it coming from Rails on. Really, like we're thinking more in a sort of, I think it's nicer to co-locate the view code in with the modules than to like have to keep jumping between, because you shouldn't have too much code in these modules. But anyway, let's make a module. I'm going to delete this page live. Right, and we're just going to do it from scratch. So in this live, we're going to go new file, and we're going to call it edit live. What just happened? Edit live.ex, right? And we're going to do new file. We're going to do show live.ex, right? So this is, I wonder what this error is that's happening. Oh, it's here. Wishlist edit live is undefined. Yeah, so that makes sense. So, and then I'm going to use the I think I've got some live view snippets in here. If live view, I've got some Phoenix LiveView snippets in here. But anyway, so I can go LV, press enter, and then this is going to ask me to type in the name of my project, which is wishlist web. And then this is going to be edit live. And then I'm coming from like React, where I like my render to be the last thing. So I should probably update my template, but I always make render the last thing. So we'll do that. We'll do show live as well while we're here. Live view, wishlist web, show live, and just move the render underneath again. Right. And then let's just, so that we know what we're looking at, this is my wish list. Buy me things from it. This is my admin page for adding things to my wish list. Adding things to my wish list. So if we come back into here, Here we go. So this is admin edit. I wonder if I can make it show the full. Always show toolbar. Can I make it show the full URL? That's edit. That's edit, and then this is show. But just home is going to be okay. We didn't do it. Router. If we come back into here, scope there. Oh, do we just do? Yeah, this is my wish list. Buy me things from it. So we've got live. This is the root thing. So we're going to do the thing. Shall we? It's worth also noting that we have these layout templates, and when you're using LiveView, you get your root layout, which is where all that Phoenix stuff is that I'm going to actually, my mouse is going to disconnect, so I am not going to actually, I knew it was going to do that. Right, look, let's get rid of all this. Well, let's keep the header. And then just go well, let's just go wish list. Right, and maybe put that in. Okay, so this is the template, but you get the root layout, but then you get your live layout, which adds some extra stuff and has some more. So it's actually nested within two different templates. And in truly professional style, my mouse batteries have run out. So I've got to get myself some new batteries. And right now I'm taking them from a different mouse. Just so we can keep this rolling. So we've got a basic page where you can see that we're rendering the template. So the next step is to create a form. So in our edit live, so what I like to do, and I'm just going to check my alerts. Not alerts, but alert form. Edit alerts. So we've got this live component thing that we can do. Right, yeah, so I'm going to loop through my alerts. Right. Okay, so the first thing we need to do when we mount this socket, and I'm going to show you the pattern I use now. I tend to go, this is how I tend to structure it, reload. Right, and then we'll have a def p reload, reload socket, and then just let's just go socket. And then what we're gonna load into that is assign. It's going to be wishes, and it's going to be wish lists. Where is wish lists? Or is it wishlist.wishlists? Okay, so let's alias that wish list.wishlists. Wish lists dot list wishes. Okay, so that's going to grab all the wishes out of the database, and then that's going to, which is currently going to be empty, but well, the first thing, so first let's just render those. So we do that with a bit of for wish in wishes. So when we assign wishes, that now gets added to the assigns, which is called by render, but that just automatically by this L sigil thing gets turned into a sort of Ruby looking variable like this. So we can just go for wish in wishes do, and we need to put an end down the bottom, and then we should just be able to go equals wish.name, right? So this is just going to give us a list of wishes. So this is, if we come back to, are we in? This is edit, yep. Right, so here we go. There's nothing there yet, but let's make ourselves let's put that in a P, and let's put a link add wish to, yeah, this is how I do it. I think there's like a live way of doing it, but this is the way I've ended up doing it. So link to hash, and then go phx event is going to be add wish, and then phx, I think that's all we need. And then when we click on that, we're going to hear an error sound because it doesn't exist, but it should try to no, it didn't. Let me just see what I did in my other project. Edit alerts. I did link to phx click, sorry. So it's the click event. So add wish. So hopefully now, right, so we get the error because it's saying it can't find this handle event, add wish, blah, blah, blah. So to add a wish, we're going to go def. Well, in fact, I'll use an autocomplete. So it's handle event, def handle event 3. So that is, event is going to be add wish, and then I actually don't care about these parameters. I do care about the socket, and then we're going to call no reply and socket, and to that socket, and we're actually just going to reload because we're just going to create the new wish. And the way I'm going to deal with my wishes, and the way I have been doing stuff like this, is just like make nothing required. So this is the wish model. We can look at the change set here, and we can just go, none of these are required. It's fine. Don't worry about it. So that means then I can make an empty wish. So I can just go wish. If we just go okay, nothing equals wish lists dot create wish. Just do an empty one, and now there will be one wish in the database with no name. If we wanted, we could go like, we could just go like name new wish, right? And then if we come back here, now when we click add wish, new wish, new wish, new wish, right? So not much needed to you know, to get that going, but obviously that's not much use. But now we want each of these rows to be a form instead of to be if we want this to be, we want to read this. But actually, like, why don't we because actually this is quite similar for now to our show live. So I am actually going to take this reload. I mean, I'm not going to try and factor this well right now, but it's interesting, isn't it, that sort of these two, the public view. So when we mount this component, we're going to reload it, and let's actually just put this stuff. Let's take this out. Well, let's copy it for now. Show live. Let's put that in there. Let's just check that that works. Wish lists. Yeah, and we need to just bring in that module again. So it's always alias wishlist dot wishlists. That should show up now. You see it like live reloads automatically anyway. So this is so this is like this can be the view page for now. And then if we come back to edit, like instead of this the view one, we want to render a form. And now I'm going to remind myself how I do this. Live component alert form. Right. So we're going to make a new thing. So there's live views which use wishlist web live view. But if we want a form, wish form.ex, this is how I tend to do it. LC will give us the live component completion. So this is going to be wishlist web, and this is going to be, I'm just going to call it wish form, right? And once again, I'm going to move this down because I'm a weirdo. But actually, like, mount is less of a thing here, because what we're really interested in is this update. So basically, whenever the data changes in this parent content. Well, let's render it. So the way we render it is this will be our wish form. I spelled something wrong. Wish. This will be a wish form. So let's render component. Was it render component? Live component. Live component socket. Wish web dot edit. Wait, it's going to be wish form. And let's just send that wish, right? So it doesn't matter. So this is back to compiling again. Invalid. Oh, what did we get? Expected OK socket got nil. Let's see what we've got here. Expected OK socket got nil. Which form is it? This. Oh yeah, sorry. This should be OK. Let's just. I think that was yeah. So that's working again. So this will be a wish form on each of those. Now, the way I do it, I pass down the model, and then I let the form create the change set. So what you get here in the update is these assigns. So what we can do is say wish. In fact, wish is going to give us that wish that we passed through. So this is the update method. But if we go assign wish, so that's our wish, and then we can go for wish.name. But this is going to be right. This should work. So they're all new wish still. But actually, what we want is a change set. So we're going to bring in our use wishlist.wishlists. We're going to go. We're going to create a change set whenever that parent context is updated. I don't mean context as in Phoenix context. I mean like the live view context thing. So we're going to go change set, and that's going to be wishlists dot change. Why is it not auto completing? Wishlist change. I know it's change wish. That should work. I don't know what. Sometimes the. Oh, I said use. I wanted to say alias. That's why it didn't work. Right. Watch out for that. Yeah, because you do get autocomplete in Visual Studio Code. So if that's working, that's working. So look, we've got change set now. So we can do a form. And this is a bit weird. You go f equals form. Let me just check. Let me check how I do this. No, not live component. Alert form. This we do form for change set ID class Phoenix target. Right. So we go form for change set. We sort of link that to nothing. That's the action usually. And then we go. The important stuff here is phx target myself, which is a special thing for Phoenix LiveView, and phx I think it's update change, and then we're going to send that. We're actually going to save it every time it changes. So that actually just creates an opening form tag. So we've just got to put a closing form tag here, which is strange, but I'd rather have some kind of nested do end thing, but it's fine. And then we should just be able to go text input f and make that what do we have, name, and let's just put placeholder name, and that should give us a sorry, we can close that, and that should give us some text inputs. Wish form undefined fdef module. I must have messed something up. Right, so why does it say assign myself not available in EEX template? That is because it needs an ID in here, so we can just call this wish.id, right, or whatever. it needs an ID, otherwise it doesn't know what the forms are. So we come back here. Are we in an LI? Let's get rid of this LI. So now we've got a form per wish. But what's going to happen when we type an error? And that's because we have not handled this save event. So if we look at back to wishlist form, and you see that's watch out for where this is being called, because if you didn't have that phx target, it would be sending it to the parent form context kind of thing. But we want this to be per wish, so we do it myself so that it will call on here, and you can validate that by looking wishlist web wish form, which is this. And we see it's trying to handle event save. So let's do a handle event. Handle event save. And what does that get sent? We can have a look down here, and we'll see it just gets this wish thing. So we can just go wish. Is that right? And then from this we would go no reply wish socket. Let's just inspect this. Here's a way you can inspect stuff. Wish is wish. So let's just see what we're getting here. So if we edit, so look, wish is coming through in that format as we type. But this is actually wish attributes. Okay, so what we're going to do, I'm just going to say, well, you see we've forgotten our pattern here. We actually probably want to, so we'll take the change set, socket.assigns.change set. So that's how we grab the stuff from the socket. And then we're going to update that change set by going, well, let's say okay. Is this right? I think this is right. How have I done it here? Let me just do it the way I usually do it. So handle event save. I'm sort of doing this. I'm doing this in a slightly roundabout way, but for something like this, it's pretty good. I'm going to keep this as simple as possible. I'm going to say, okay, this would be the wish. We're going to say wishlists.update wish socket.assigns.wish. So that's the state of the wish when this update was called, when the parent context reloaded, and with our wish attributes. And just do that. Not too bothered. It will give us an error if this OK is not found, it didn't update. But we can start making edits now, right? And you see these updates happened as we typed, and if we refresh, there it is. Like, we haven't respected the order yet, but so this is the updated wish. So that, like, for editing, if obviously you wouldn't do this if there's loads of users, you wouldn't edit every time, you'd do the more the sort of validate save button model, but I'm just showing you this sort of like real-time editing where every keystroke is just going to update the database. So now we've got some different wishes, and like let's just have two different tabs here. So if we come back to the root, so you see this is my wish list, buy me things from it, there it is. This is the updated wish. Let's put these side by side, because what we're going to start doing soon is wanting to know if these are updating themselves together, if that makes sense. Like, is our changes to one going out live? So I can type away, but it doesn't. I wish this would show up live. Right, so this isn't updating, but we refreshed and it updated. So what is the secret sauce to keeping these two views in sync? Well, yeah, so what is this real-time thing? I watched Chris McCord's demo on this a few times, and I think I can give for someone desperate to for someone else's explanation of it, this is what I bring to you. This is what I have to offer today. Right. And actually, the way I approach this is just with a bit of copy pasta, you know, is it copy pasta when it's legit? I don't know. Look, in a context, so say accounts is one. I've got my project. I'm like, which one's got this? We've got this notion of Phoenix PubSub, subscribing, notify subscribers, and this is a bit of a mouthful, but you can literally copy this into your own module. So if we go to wish lists, I just tend to at the top bang in that thing. Now you'll see there's a subscribe, and then there's a subscribe user ID here, but like I'm not going to bother about individual updates. This is how you would, but when we call notify subscribers, which I'll show you how that happens in a moment, it actually sends out two events. One is just the module one, which is literally going to be, in this case, wish lists, basically. But it will also be called with a model, which is a separate event which has the topic concatenated to things. So look, I'll take you through this. So topic is basically automatically generated from the module name. So topic is wish lists. So if you had different contexts, you'd get different topics for those. But this is, I want to subscribe to my wish lists. So this is the method that just allows you to subscribe to any changes. Look, you see we've got the wrong module name here. So let me just, because I've copied it between, I wouldn't usually be copying it between projects like this. So this would usually be okay to just copy and paste. I do not care about user ID, like subscribing to a specific wish list item. We'll get into that another day maybe, but for now we don't need that, and we don't need to notify that. But and then that should grey out this thing as well. Oh no, so it does. We do get, yeah. But all that did was that created another event name which had the wish ID concatenated to it. And how is that done? How is this called? Let's just quickly look at that. And again, I just kind of scroll in and just look where I've used it. But let's just see where we've called. This is like a really long one. I should probably, let's do rigs. So rigs is a bit shorter. So basically, whenever I create a rig, I notify subscribers. Whenever I delete a rig, I notify subscribers. So let's use that model. So we've got this notify subscribers thing, which takes this OK result signature or this error reason signature. Like we've got two different implementations there. So when we create wish, all we have to do now is notify subscribers, and we'll just go like wish created, and that sends in the result of our repo insert. So what comes out of a repo insert if it's successful is the model and OK, and then that's what this receives. And then if it wants to concatenate and make a custom event for that model, that's what that business was back there, but we don't care. We do send it with the event, but we're not like specifically, we're not going that granular. So I'm going to do it when I create a wish, and I'm also going to do it when I update a wish, and then we might as well do it when we delete a wish. Why not? What do I want? Oh, and then yeah, so deleted and updated. And then when we come back into, and then in our, well, all we really have to do is in our show form. So now in our show live, we have to do this little subscription dance. So say in if we come back to alert, I think rigs is actually the best one to show you this. Rig live, rig show. So in here I've got if connected subscribe, right? So I'm going to copy this in. If connected wishlist web dot wishlists, not wishlist web, wishlist dot wishlists dot subscribe. That's calling that method. We just jumped in. I just clicked on there. Pow. That's calling that. So basically, we are now subscribed to changes. And what will happen if we come back in here and start typing? We'll get an error because it notified, but then it doesn't have this handle info. So now all we have to do to get this live connection working in show live is to implement that thing. So let's have a look. Handle info. There's the template. So the message, what's that going to be? Well, let's have a look. It's wishlist.wishlists. So wishlists socket. So that's the event. How do I do this in my handle info here? Let me just double check that this is. Oh yeah, and we don't even need to. Yeah, we just say wishlists. We can just go whenever this is the event. This is the PubSub thing. So just to come back to here, what's happening? Phoenix PubSub broadcast. Now, basically, what's happening here is Phoenix LiveView is creating a process for that user that is connected, which it keeps alive. And so server side, you can, but this is now, we can now broadcast. So this is a different process to the one that the live view is working on, but we can broadcast messages that can be subscribed to by that other process, by that user specific process. And Phoenix can, they can do like millions of users, like concurrent users on sort of small, not particularly powerful servers. So it's actually like, what we're doing here is like, I mean, if you sort of compared it to something like making REST API calls, where you've got to fire up a whole instance of the server for every single endpoint you're hitting, which is how a version of an app that I'm doing at the moment is running. Compare that to just keeping a little socket connection alive and using that and keeping a process on the server alive, which is responsible for that WebSocket connection. And that is what this show live is going. Is my socket connected still? Can we communicate? Okay, well, we're going to subscribe to yeah, we don't even need to. We're going to subscribe to messages sent by Phoenix PubSub, right? Which is just a module. Like if we come in here, it's just part of the Phoenix framework, and I think this is a special Phoenix thing that is probably built on something, but I don't really care. All I know is I've got this one little process running for this person viewing this wish list that is just open. The connection is open. If we looked in WebSockets, we'd see a WebSocket. We could look at the message history, and we can see it's been established. Look at the message history, and we just know we can now push out changes from the server through that WebSocket, and that's what Phoenix LiveView handles. But when you're coding it, you're thinking in terms of a process on the server subscribed to another process on the server. But really, just my view is my user's process, and then the sort of database context thing is sort of more of a thing that can send it to every user or whatever. But like say you're a specific user, you would need that user ID thing if they were only subscribed to their own stuff, right? But in our case, we've just got one server that has a wish list. A very inefficient way to create a wish list. I'm not going to deny it, but we have total control over that granularity, and it's not that many steps. Although I wish I was making it seem like fewer steps. The point is, we receive that event from wish lists context, and we can do something with it. What do we do with it? Let me remind myself. I think we just go no reply. Yeah. So we're just going to do a no reply. So no reply, and we're going to take the socket, and just for symmetry, no replay. I always type no replay. Reload. We're just going to reload all of the models again. whenever we get a change. And that's it. That's why we put that in its own thing. And I know it seems a bit funny doing it in the structure, but like in a real code base, you will always have a couple of things you're trying to do. So my reload, I haven't really done it there, but maybe in one of the more recent ones, because I've been refining this. I wanted to just show you this process as I've been refining it. Show alerts live. Has anyone said anything? No. Let's just look for a def p reload. Yeah, look, I've got loads of these. So some of them just sort of do one, but some of them, yeah, like load a couple of different things in. I just tend to, like, because obviously if you know Elixir, you know this could just be reload socket, and it's the same thing. But I like it this way. I like this structure because it sort of makes it easier to sort of assign more things as you go down. I think it makes it a bit more readable. But yeah, so now it's the moment of truth, isn't it? I should be able to type in here and I should see this updating or an error message. So Mac, no, it didn't work. What? Oh. Right. That worked. It updated. But what was the error we got? Handle info wishlist.wishlists wish updated. I think I've done the wrong handle info. I don't think this is the right signature. Yeah, it's this, isn't it? Yeah, sorry, this is the signature of it. Handle info wishlists. It's a open oh my god, what just happened? It's an open curly bracket. Is code being clever? This. So actually, like this is the message where we did updated, deleted, and then this is the object. So now it shouldn't error. So let's say we want an M1 Pro Max MacBook Pro. And then that's updating there. And then I want a beach holiday with Shaz. And then I want, I don't know, this is my Christmas list. No one can buy me these things. What did I have on my... yeah, let's just put some nice running gear. So now that's, these are completely in sync. Shall I just go over again? Well, why don't we have a look at the git diff just to remind ourselves what happened there. So GitHub. I'm just going to bring this up, and we'll just go through everything I did one more time, and hopefully, let's add that repository. Hopefully, we'll see what we did. So the first thing we did was we created edit live, which used this wishlist web live view, and we did these we deleted. We did show live, which used the wishlist live view. Then, well, we can see what's changed here, to be honest. Then in our router, we created those live endpoints, which we just have to. So they inherit from wishlist web. So this is wishlist web.edit live. So we can just put in edit live. Well, that makes it so. This is a live view. This has to be use wishlist web live view. If we just have a look at wishlist web, which was created by Phoenix, that is here. Look, so it just uses the live layout and does the live these helpers, which are some. Yeah, this is the view helpers that are used by everything. But there's live view. Just that's used by view as well as the live view. So that's what that's bringing in, and if you want to make changes to how that works, oops, sorry, that's how you do that. We created with a Phoenix generator, we created this migration, which created a table called wishes, name, order, URL, image string. I guess we didn't get around to putting pictures in. Maybe I'll just quickly show you that. So if we go back into wish form now, because we've got all the infrastructure down there, so let's just do a text input f, let's say image URL, placeholder image URL. this will show up here now. If we put a closing tag there, so now we should have what? Yeah, reload. Yeah, so we've got an image URL thing there. So let's find a picture of a pro images. Oops. Let's just grab an image. Copy image address. Sorry, I don't usually use this. So let's put that in there. Oh, sorry, we're not. What happened there? I'm actually not sure. Is it too long? What is the error here? Value too long for type. Like I was wondering when I did that if it was going to survive a string, but let's try. Maybe this one won't be quite as long. Yeah, so that's nicer. Let's put a beach holiday. Let's find that. Beach holiday. Let's say Maldives. Maybe here. Maybe we'll stay here. And let's just grab. Let's grab that picture URL. Oh, come on. Give me an image URL. Copy image address. Put that in. And some nice running gear. Let's say nice running clothes. I didn't want to say Nike, but I don't know. Let's like copy this image. Some sexy gym shorts for myself. Copy image address. Put that there, right? And then let's just. So that's saved in the database, as we can see by here, and we didn't hear any errors. But if we come to show live, let's just have a image tag wish dot image URL. Let's say width. Oops, sorry. Did I do this image tag? Yeah, so this should be, there we go. So look, there's our little, that's how easy it is to add fields to these forms. We can just add them in. Obviously, if you like, you can tidy it up and you can add another wish. That's a bit weird. Right, so we can maintain that pretty well. We did router. We created, so then we did our show live, which basically assigns wishes to the wishes thing like that anytime anything happens. So either when the parent, where is it? Oh no, just anytime. Oh, this it doesn't have a. This isn't nested. So basically, whenever the PubSub thing gets sent, it just reloads the content and re-renders it. We made this edit live, which does sort of loads the same content, loads the same models, but this contains some sort of master content and a link to an add wish button, which uses phx click here, which does add wish, which is handled in this handle event, which goes to the database and creates a generic new wish and then just reloads everything. And then we've got that list of wishes that we iterate through here, and now instead of rendering out the individual wish, we render out this live component. So rather than live view, we've got live component, which is a wish form. So if we jump into there, our wish form receives, well, see what it receives. It receives the wish and an ID. It takes the wish so that it knows which wish it's dealing with, and it takes the ID so that that at myself thing works. So where it's got at myself, that doesn't work unless we have that form ID. When the update is called, whenever this parent, this edit live, whenever this reload happens on the parent thing, this update is basically replacing this wish and creating a new change set, right? Which actually I don't think is happening on our page, which is why that weird thing just happened. So what we would probably do is also listen in the same way for those changes, or we would just assign a new change set here instead of just like throwing it away. We can handle it. So this form takes the target and it takes phx change, which is a form level thing. And remember, the form assigns this variable f that can be used for the input fields, but it doesn't give you a close tag, so you've got to add that close tag on the form. And then we just use the normal Phoenix form controls. Text input, if you can have file input, you can have a select box, you can have whatever you want, and just sort of build up the form to look however you want it to look. And then when it changes, because it's got phx target myself and that phx change to save, it goes handle event save. It receives that form change set with any changes, and then we just throw that into this automatically generated update wish on the context that came into existence when we did mix phx gen context. And then just does a no reply socket, which is the contract for this method. And then the last thing we did was we just, in our context that we want to be able to subscribe to, we just kind of copy and paste this boilerplate. And once you've got a project, you'll do it like once for something, probably not this version, you'll probably do the rigs. You'll probably do the this version where it has two subscribes. In fact, this doesn't have two subscribes. Let's look at accounts. Well, this has the subscribe to the whole lot and subscribe to an individual one. And so that sends two events. But in this case, we just subscribed to the whole lot and didn't bother with the individual one because we don't really need it. And this is part of just like running. This is part of just like running with scissors, right? This is like we understand this, so we can make decisions to keep our code simpler. This is what this gives you, by the way. It gives you wishes, list wishes, get wish. So this is like our RESTful interface. And then the ones that we want to tell everyone about, we add this notify subscribers thing. We're sending it wish created, which would, if we cared about it, be, you could have like wish added or whatever. No, this is the wrong thing. It's handle view. I mean, it's because we've only got in here, like this is where we'd sort of filter it on added wish, and then this would be the wish, and this, then we would do something different for added, and we could have different ones of these for the different things we want to handle. In our case, we just want the whole lot, so we just reload the whole lot. Keep it simple. But that's what that's for. But even though we're not using it, we might as well, keep it correct. So that is what was the title of this video? That is Pragmatic Forms with Phoenix LiveView. I hope you learned something from that, that I didn't forget anything important. We did wishes, we did edit, we did show, we did form, we did router, we did route, we did wishlist test. Yeah, I hope that, that's my pragmatic approach to dealing with forms in Phoenix. And like I've been like, I'll just show you behind the scenes on this thing. So this is my Squares TV. If you go to squares.tv, this is what I'm focused on at the moment. I'm building quite a lot of stuff. So I've got all of these different forms, and I'm actually finding it quicker to spin up a live view to do my editors. So I wanted a list of products. I just threw this up so I can do new products. I can it's really practical. I've got I sort of put in a select box for my different blog posts that attach to a product page. Got little helpful links to be able to go through to a, that doesn't work. No, I just made it. But here, it's just the fields that I'm interested in tracking, and maybe I wanted to do a shoot alert. I've added this thing where I can send an alert through to my shoot app, and people can see it, and I can edit the content. And I can just have this really super simple form. It's ugly, but it's like just the stuff I need and no other stuff. And then maybe I've got like an email, I've got the ability to send emails. I've got this rig editor where I like have this whole, it's a form where I can associate all this stuff. But if we look at it here, this is how I'm building this sort of stuff, right? That lets me just kind of quickly create an editor for something like this. So if we come back to like rigs, it's a quick, and it's a sort of here's the thing, members view, edit, and I've got like another view that I can use for when I'm making video graphics and I want it to appear. But yeah, just the edit view of that is like this chaos. So I just like, okay, I need this goes through the SVG and gives me the different things and reassures me that I've done it, and I don't want that to save. Sometimes I'll have a save button, sometimes I won't. So that's it's just really useful to be able to spin up a quick form and actually having it live. What this meant was, because I had a Phoenix LiveView, I could like use this view or whatever as a sort of preview of what I'm editing in the other window by just having that PubSub connection. So let me know if that was any use in the comments below. Come and check out what I'm doing on Squares TV. I've got a new interview going up soon. I've got an app called Shoot Clean Camera Feed in the App Store, and I've been putting up videos on how to do that kind of stuff. If you go Squares TV, there is a Shoot Guides, where these are all the sort of video guides I'm creating for using my camera app. But this whole platform, which I'm basically using to run my business and sort of add more and more features for me to, see, I've got an edit button, so I can just click and edit that thing, and I can just make it behave however I want. Like I can paste an image. I've got a little image pasting thing which I can talk about another time if you're interested. I've got loads of useful little things that I'm adding into this Phoenix project, and I just love Phoenix because I might want millions of people to be able to use some aspect of this at some point. So I'm just like trying to get good at doing that everyday repetitive stuff in Phoenix. I used to use Rails. It's been a while now. I used Meteor after that, but I love Phoenix because even though like there's a bit of mental overhead to understanding that kind of like what is it doing, and how does the pattern matching work, and how does what is it doing? I've been gradually getting better at it because I feel like it's, what's the difference? It's always a bit of a pain to do these things. So I might as well learn it on a platform. It seems like a good balance of usability of platform and the ability to potentially scale if I ever need to. So that's why I would recommend Phoenix as something if you want to like run a business on it or like build a web platform. Certainly if you're a developer that like knows what you're doing a little bit with something, I would say Phoenix is definitely pretty great for just I'll tell you the trade-off. I find it sometimes a struggle to figure out how to do something, but once I've done it, it's like I can kind of forget about it forever, which is not true of some other platforms where you might it might work for a small number of people, but then it's just going to break when you end up having a lot of users and you need background tasks or those kinds of things. And you can just be a lot more pragmatic about errors, just like let it crash because it's just going to be that one thread. And there's so many reasons that it's just a nice platform. So this is my video. This was supposed to be a 15-minute video. It is not, but I think it is focused on a task. It's going to be uploaded to YouTube, and hopefully next week I'll do another show and tell on Friday, because I've got a load of good to hear update videos on my YouTube channel. I'll put a little box up wherever that is, but they were too me centric, and I just wanted to start doing some videos that are you centric and that you can actually find on YouTube. So there we go. Hopefully I'll see you soon. Take care, have a good weekend.